All right, gang. The competition series Titan from Pit Boss has shown up here on Barbecue Boulevard. Let's just say it didn't show up as I thought it would. Let's get into it. Okay, like I said, the competition series Titan showed up here to Barbecue Boulevard. It's right here behind me. So at the end of the day, everything was okay. But the way this box showed up from Academy, it got delivered by FedEx from Academy, and I got to tell you, man, this box was beat to hell. I don't know if they dropped the box, FedEx dropped it, Academy dropped it. I have no idea, but the box was beat up pretty good. So once I started to get the box open to get the contents out, I didn't really have full confidence that this grill was gonna make it. I would, open the box and things were literally just falling out. The packing materials in it, the styrofoam that's supposed to keep everything in place and secure during transit, was completely shattered and crushed and was literally falling out of the box as I opened it up. And so, yeah, my confidence was pretty much shot. So I didn't know if this was going to come together as a complete solid build. Then I got into constructing it. Now I'm going to, tell you the truth here. The whole assembly process was not very hard. The hardest part of it was a lot of the parts that were in the box weren't labeled. You would see the diagrams in the manual, but then you didn't have them labeled. There was like 4 pieces that were actually labeled. Outside of that, it was just kind of match up what it looked like in person to what it looked like in the manual. But again, at the end of the day, it all came together well. It probably took me a little longer because I was actually doing some other things at the same time as assembling this grill. So I would assemble for a little bit, had to go do some stuff, come back. But if you just sat there and assembled this grill, you could probably get it assembled in about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Despite what the box looked like, despite of how things weren't securely in place inside the box as we got it open, it all came together well. So this is our competition series Titan from Pit Boss. And man, I gotta tell you, it's a fantastic looking pit. Let's talk about some of the features on it. All 4 of the wheels on this thing are swivel casters, so get you a good 360-degree rotation, moves around very easily, and feels pretty light moving as well. Here in the center, we've got a cabinet, which is pretty cool. So you can use this to store things, if you want to down here. Also, you'll notice that we've got our grease bucket. Our grease bucket is down here as well. And that means it's hidden and away from the elements and away from creatures such as dogs and other undesirables. So pretty good design there by Pit Boss. Over on the hopper side here, guys, we've got a hopper release or a hopper clean out. You can set your bucket right underneath here, pull it out, dump your pellets into your bucket, close it back, and you're ready to reload with a fresh set of pellets or whatever flavor you want to use. And then we've got a great handle here, good sturdy handle to move this thing around. Now you got your lid here for your hopper, and we'll take a look in here. We've got a couple of temperature probes here. They've got a divider in here, guys, so you can separate out the different pellets. If you want different flavor pellets and you want to put a blend together, I like that they put the guard down here lower as well, so that if you want to reach in and grab some pellets, whether you're filling up a smoke tube or whatever you need them for, you can do that. And of course, we still have our glass here that you can see through and see if you're full of pellets or if you need to add pellets. Here you got your handle here. This is going to be for whenever you want to use that sear technology to sear off steaks or pork chops or whatever it is that you want to sear. Then we've got our control panel here. Now here we've got our shelf. Now this is a shelf that is collapsible, so you can fold this down. We've got our roll back lid, guys, roll back lid. So it's not going to be a big heavy lid, to pull up. It just rolls back into place and gives you access to your cooking area. We've got our shelf here on the side, and on this shelf you've got a little hanging system for some utensils, and then vented bottom. Okay, so now we've got 3 cooking racks in here, and these are pretty cool racks. They slide right out. One thing that you do have to be careful about is that these will actually pull directly out. There's no catch to lock them in place so that you don't pull them all the way out. I kind of wish they would have had some sort of catch system in here to stop this from being able to slide all the way out, but you know what, it is what it is. Now what's unique about this is this one rack is actually made up of 3 pieces. So you can adjust by unscrewing the screw here. There's a cap right here that you can kind of lift up and you can take out a rack. So there's a cap on this side and there's a cap on the opposite side. So you can lift that up, you can adjust, pull racks out or put them back in to make this to the desired depth that you want to be cooking with. So I thought that was a pretty cool design from them. Now all 3 of these racks in here, this is over 1,600 square inches of cooking area. So you got plenty of area here to cook whatever you want. Plenty of headroom between the top rack and the top, as well as space in between racks. So whether you want to get your briskets in there, ribs, your chicken or whatever, so that's pretty cool. Okay, now we've got our racks out of the way and we can see our heat diffuser. Now again, I said earlier with this slide lever here, that was for the sear technology, and that's what this is right here. So push it in, it's all the way closed. Now you're cooking that indirect heat with, you know, smoking your ribs and brisket or whatever. Or if you want to sear a steak, you just pull that to the side, that opens it up, and now you've got that blaring flame right there to sear your steaks or whatever it is that you want to do. So that's a pretty cool design. Okay, so here we have the belly of the pit here. Still got remnants of styrofoam and stuff in here because haven't done anything with it yet. But so here's our fire pot, guys. Different design on the fire pot, as you have the auger that comes up at a 45-degree angle that drops pellets down into your fire pot. And what that does is it will allow pellets to come through here, and it's to deter dust from getting in here, your pellet dust. So your pellet dust will fall back into the back of the auger, or I'm sorry, into the back of the hopper where there's a screen with holes that'll drop that dust out, so you can get hopefully pure pellets to drop into your fire pot, which is a pretty cool design. Now up here in the back wall is where you're going to have your probe for sensing your temperature. So that's where, you know, if this gets dirty, it could cause you an issue with correct readings. So every now and then I'll probably make sure I wipe this thing off just to make sure it doesn't get a buildup of creosote or whatever. All right, so as we said, we're going to go ahead and get this thing loaded up and you know, do our burn off. But before we load up our pellets, we want to run a diagnostic test. What that's going to do is make sure that everything is working like it's supposed to before we get started. So we're going to power this thing on. We're going to press and hold our power button until the power comes on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into our settings. And once we're in our settings, we're going to hit diagnostic test. And that's going to kick off this test for us. And it's going to check the auger, the fan, and all of those things, the igniter. All of that's going to be tested, and you can see that here. So we got the auger being tested, the igniter being tested, our fan, and everything is working fine. And now we're out of our diagnostics, and now we can get ready to load this thing up. Okay guys, so now that we've got this thing tested and it's loaded up with pellets, we're gonna go ahead and get it primed. Hold our power button here for a couple of seconds. Now that we got this powered on, we're gonna go into our prime menu here. And we're gonna start this, and we're gonna go into our prime menu, and we're gonna do a 5-second prime. And we're going to repeat the process until we get pellets to drop into our pot. And now we can start to see our pellets starting to get to our pot. And now that we got pellets going to our pot, we're going to power down the unit, and we're going to let this do a safe shutdown, and I'll bring you right back. Okay, now that we've got our unit primed, we're going to go ahead and get it started up so we can do our burn off here. So we're going to go ahead and power the unit on. Now, according to our instructions, we're going to run this unit up to 350 degrees or so, and we'll let it run for, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. But we're going to go ahead and get this started. So we're going to hit the start button there, and we're going to adjust our temperature up to 350, and there we go. So we're heating to 350, we're at 93. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but the pellets are definitely dropping. We'll go ahead and get our lid open here. Now, as you can see, the smoke got a lot heavier here, which typically happens on pellet grills right when they're starting up, and then right before the flame really kicks in. You'll have a thick amount of smoke, and then once the flame kicks in, all of this is going to clear right out. Okay, don't know if you can hear that, but we just heard what we call the whoosh, which is when the flame really kicks in. And then all the smoke that you'll see here is going to start clearing out. It's going to thin out, and we'll just have a good, nice heat going. So at that point, we know that our flame is going. So we'll go ahead and get the lid closed up on this, and we're just going to let this thing go now. We're going to let it heat up. Again, we're going to look to get to this up to 350 degrees, and we're going to let it run for, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour, just to let it get a good burn. The burn off is to make sure we're cleaning out the entire inside of this grill from manufacturing materials. If you saw in there, I still have little pieces of styrofoam and whatnot in there. But we're making sure everything that's in there, any type of oils or anything from manufacturing, gets all burned off. And that's why we want to do that. Plus, it gives us a chance to make sure that this grill is working like it needs to be working. All right, so just like that, the burn off process is complete on this competition series Titan. So what do you guys think? I think this is going to be a cool grill to cook on. And so, hey, I'm going to see you guys in the next video where we'll put something on a grill. Haven't figured it out yet. So I'll look at your comments and see what you say down below. And we'll get it fired up in the next video. Until then, peace.